What would you do if you felt you had been born into the wrong species?
When I started feeling that I was non-human, I was around 10 or 11.
An increasing number of people believe they are more animal than human.
I would definitely say that I have species dysmorphia.
I have these hands and this body, but internally, I am a leopard.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Joined by a belief system and a growing internet presence, these people are meeting and forming relationships.
We are raccoon and leopard. It's not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much.
For the first time, we are welcomed into the world of human animals.
I began to get concerned because it sounded like almost like mental illness to me. My child telling me that he's half animal.
These are paperworks for my name change to my wolf name, which is Shiro Wolf.
What's he dressing up like?
In our changing world, a new subculture of humanity is evolving. These people don't believe that they are human at all. Identifying with a particular species, they are collectively known as otherkin and Therians. Some choose to dress up as the species they think they are. Otherkin and Therians live all over the world and share one common belief. They think they are animals.
People would ask me, well, do you ever get sick of it? Do you ever get sick of thinking about it? Do I ever get sick of thinking about my elbow? I don't really have to think about it. It's just there. It's just a part of who you are.
Caleb Carges lives on the outskirts of Buffalo, New York. He is not your usual teenager.
My species is, well, definitely a wolf. Lately, I've been leaning more towards red wolf specifically, not only because the type of environments I like, but also because of the way I act. If I could look in the mirror and choose what I saw, I would see an anthropomorphized version of myself that was half wolf, half human.
Caleb is part of the growing phenomenon of people who believe in some way that they are an animal.
We believe that mentally, or at least cognitively, we are more connected with the animal side of ourselves than we are the human side of ourselves. And whether that be just the way we try to act in our life, or the way we try to communicate with the people we love or our friends, it's something that's very noticeable. It's something that needs to be constantly purged in your head, because you constantly have to realize, oh, that's right, I think differently.
Therians identify psychologically and spiritually with an animal. And since the age of 6, Caleb has believed he is a wolf.
I have a couple tails. This is the one that I've been wearing for the most part. It's a little bit less realistic. This one's a bit more cartoony, but I like it because it's easier to manage. I used to have actually what was a decommissioned fursuit tail, and it bothered the hell out of me because it was just inconvenient in every way. And this one's like a lot more cute and a lot more playful. So to go out in public with it, I think it fits a lot more. But it fits me and it fits my size and it has my colors. That's actually where I sleep. Right now there's a cat where I sleep, but normally that's where I sleep, and it's mostly computers in here actually. I like it quite a lot because it gets quite warm in here, and as a red wolf I like warm temperatures.
Caleb lives at home with Dad Jim, brother Chris, and his mom, Mary Ellen.
Well, when you first told me about being a Therian, and you said you felt you were part animal, and you said to me, Mom, what you look at when you see me, this is not who I am. I'm actually somebody very different. I questioned if you were schizophrenic or mentally ill. And then when you told me that, when I asked how long you had felt this way, and you told me it went all the way back to when you were around 6 years old, that you had been carrying this with you, that you really felt that part of you was this wolf. I've come to really accept it and support it. I get a little bit sad sometimes that Caleb is so involved in his own world that he seldom comes into our world.
Caleb is not unique in his beliefs. He is part of a small Therian community of people in Buffalo. They include Stephen, a leopard, and Timothy, a raccoon. Together, they run an amateur radio show from his bedroom. It broadcasts to hundreds of people like them all around the world.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 102. I am your host of this evening, Paradox the Wolf.
I am your blue fox host, Pharaoh.
I'm your co-host in training, Shroud the leopard.
I'm your guest, Minok the raccoon.
All right, next email that I got here. Hey guys, my name is Kobe, and I am an orange, blue, and white male German Shepherd. I am also bisexual, and I am 19 years old, and I'm having some huge issues with my parents in relation to being Therian. Is there any help explaining this to them?
How did you do it?
I don't even remember.
Oh.
I barely touched on it because my parents just didn't care. My mom just wanted me to be safe. My dad said that I could have whatever beliefs I wanted as long as I wasn't hurting anyone.
Oh, you had it
myself.
easy too.
Yeah, it was easy.
When my mother found out, she asked me if she had done anything wrong as a parent. and I was like, no.
My parents always think, the live and let live type, as long as you're happy kind of people.
Right.
So as far as how I had to do it, it's not like I could offer advice from my personal experience.
Yeah.
Because I had it easy.
Caleb and his friends are fortunate that they are content feeling like animals. For others, though, this is not the case.
These are some of my wolf shirts. I've got probably over 50. This is my absolute favorite of them all, and it's one of my newer ones. It's got like the wolf and the moon, and it's the full body wolf, and it's purple. I just love it. It's beautiful.
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel lives in Brunswick, Georgia.
That's my diploma from when I graduated high school, and they had actually put Wolfie on the side of it. This is really cool. This, when I turn it on, it'll sound like a waterfall light up and the wolf will howl. It's getting there. So yeah, I've always loved this one.
It is not just wolf memorabilia that sets Matthew apart from other teenagers.
In a personal, integral, and non-physical level, I am a wolf. It's very spiritual for me. I believe I have the spirit of a wolf. It's also very psychological. I behave like a wolf. I feel when I refer to myself, I am a wolf. Basically, other than the fact that I have a human body and human flesh, I am a wolf. I can't really give you a number of how many Therians are out there. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands in communities that I know about and that I'm a member of. Obviously, there's wolves. I'm a wolf. You know, cats, foxes, domestic cats, tigers, lions, flies. I've met, believe it or not, several insects. To myself, I see a black wolf on all fours walking. And that's how I want to be pictured a lot of times, because that's what I am, you know. You see me as this person, and I see myself as a wolf.
Growing up and believing something that no one else could see meant that Matthew had a tough time at school.
Day-to-day life at school was a living hell in every sense of the word. The only reason I survived was because of my very few close friends who I am still fiercely loyal to this day, the same loyalty a wolf would have to his pack.
I'm always at home most of the time, and my mom's at home most of the time, so.
One of those loyal friends from school is Jade.
The first thing I noticed was the tail. It was the first thing I noticed about him. And then he had a wolf shirt on.
Jade is also a wolf and instantly bonded with Matthew due to their similar beliefs.
He was the one who actually brought up Therians. And at that time, I was still kind of new to the whole concept. Like, I knew that about, me being a wolf, but I didn't know the technical term for it.
We just hang out here, really.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to go.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. You can
quieter.
meditate here. No distractions from random people, you know. It makes me feel more connected being here because this is where I'd kind of be, you know, in my natural environment. Well, there's more spiders over there.
It means a lot to me that, you know, he has included me in his pack and kind of taken me in. Because, like, for the longest time, it seemed like nobody was there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't normally get to do that.
It's a huge release because you kind of have to bottle so much up inside when you're certain places, and you can just let it all out.
Not only limited to America, people who identify with animals live all over the world. Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex, in the remote countryside of England. They are one of the handful of otherkin couples who are married.
Our relationship with our dog is definitely a pack relationship, much like it is with any other dog really, but I think in our case it helps a lot more that we're kind of a little bit attuned to maybe the way he's thinking, maybe a little bit attuned to the way we're thinking. It's kind of like having a little version of us.
Ben and Kimberly feel that they share their bodies with the spirit of a wolf.
This is the drawing of Ben and myself that my friend Lana did, which, as you can tell, is just absolutely beautiful. It's so nice to have a proper representation, like that I can say to people, okay, this is what we look like. Ben on the bottom there with the blue eyes. I'm the sort of ambery-eyed wolf with the horns. For my 21st birthday, I got a tattoo, which is sort of like a weird sort of silhouette of my wolf side. I love it. It's just very me, and I'll never regret it because it's my soul, basically, inked on my leg.
Ben and Kimberly have been together for 8 years and married for 2.
The second I saw him, I was just completely attracted to him, more than I had been ever attracted to anyone. It was pretty much instantaneous, you know. I just felt really drawn to him. And I made it my kind of mission to find out who this guy was and who his friends were. And I kind of maybe even stalked him a tiny bit by finding out who his friends were and things like that. So, you know, a little bit creepy, but, you know, it worked out well for me in the end.
There was just something about her that seemed right to me on a kind of a subconscious level at the time. And when we were together, we just clicked.
Oh, I need your help.
All otherkin and Therians have one thing that bonds them together. It's the very moment they realize they are an animal. This is a process called awakening.
Well, it came upon me around the age of 15, and as you can imagine, puberty being a difficult time for any teenager, and then you're having almost a whole nother puberty happen at the same time, and it's a frightening experience, you know, lots of new sensations and feelings that you're having to deal with.
Kimberly discovered this as a teenager. However, for Ben, the catalyst for his awakening was meeting her.
She shared her experiences with me. She listened to me more than anything, which was amazing to have someone to talk to that didn't look at you like you were a complete weirdo, and she was just there for me, really. I've been very fortunate to have someone with me at all times throughout it.
Ben and Kimberly's wolf sides rarely appear. However, they often come out in the bedroom.
As teenagers are, you know, we started dating and we're very, like, eager, enthusiastic, and like the first couple of times we walked away with a couple of battle wounds, just sort of covered in bite and claw, like really
very intense, and a little bit scary at times.
I think it's because neither one of us had ever been with another wolf, and I think it brought it out in each other.
Your primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much. It's only afterwards when you step back and you think, whoa, what have we done?
Yeah.
You know, it all makes sense now.
For both of them, they see their wolf side as a separate creature. Their wolves have their own names, personalities, and feelings. Kimberly has named her wolf side Luna. Unlike others, she has the ability to change into her animal side and let Luna talk for herself.
I normally don't let her speak because she has a bit of a mind of her own. All right, hello. Hello. Yeah, I don't get lit out very often. I tend to have a bad habit of running my mouth a bit and saying things I shouldn't do, so I tend to be kept a bit quiet. And caged is one way I tend to put it. By Kim? By Kim, yeah. I kind of give her a bit of hell sometimes because she doesn't let me out as much as I should be lit out. Unfortunately, she has main control over this body. I've got control over the dreams, so she doesn't really have a choice about what I do there. We've definitely lived quite a few lives together, and we've lived lives on the other place as well as here. I don't know at what point our souls became one, but I feel that it has always been that way, and it's probably that way for a reason. So perhaps there's something we need to achieve or we need to accomplish.
Ben and Kimberly live on the farm with Ben's mum, Sue. She has only recently been told about the couple's wolf sides.
I don't think she was worried that she was going to get a bad reaction from me, but she's worried that, as Ben is, I think, that I'm going to think they're a little odd, you know. And they, you know, especially Kim, I mean, she's into all sorts of things, so it didn't really surprise me. But with Ben, it did a little. But Ben is a very deep guy, so a lot of the time I don't know what's going on in his head, really, so.
Sue has seen firsthand the impact that Kimberly has had on Ben.
I thought, really? And then I think you have sort of mixed emotions because you think, oh, where is it coming from? Is that something to do with me as a mum, you know?
The couple are preparing for their annual Halloween party.
For my Halloween party, I'm making it look like kind of a abandoned asylum kind of thing.
They are not only fortunate to have each other, they also have a group of accepting friends.
Yeah, Josh was there when I awakened. Yeah, Josh is one of the few people I had to talk to about it.
It sounds really ridiculous, but it just came up in conversation. With certain circles, this stuff just comes up. You don't even expect it to come up, it'll just come up in conversation and you're just like, yeah, sure, why not? On the internet, everyone is quite happy to talk about it. I guess it's a lot easier to talk about something when you don't have to stare someone in the eyes.
Ben is preparing to let his wolf side out as he dresses up as his favorite character, Wolverine.
I've chosen to go as Wolverine, one because I like the character, I think he's fantastic. I've been a big fan of the X-Men, and also I think probably on a kind of subliminal level to myself because he somewhat matches my otherkin side. I like his independence, his devil-may-care attitude, the fact that he's, you know, alone a lot of the time. He's a big, strong, powerful character. Slot in between knuckles, 3 on each fist. Cheap, low budget.
The Halloween party allows the couple to dress up and express their animal sides. It provides a rare opportunity to celebrate this with their friends.
Yeah, it feels good to be Wolverine, you know, just kind of letting myself go, beginning to get into character a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
I was going to say, because I got a new tattoo.
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel believes that he is more wolf than human. While most teenagers his age enjoy hanging out at the mall, Matthew enjoys shopping at the local pet store.
I used to have one kind of like this one, but it was bigger and it had reflective paw prints going on it. It doesn't look like they have the reflective kind. I used to love those. And these ones I really like just because they're so much bigger. It doesn't really feel strange buying them. A lot of times people don't even notice. They just think, oh, he probably has a dog.
Matthew is the youngest of 4 children and lives at home with parents Joe and Terry.
I know for me, I remember as a kid wanting to be a lion or wanting to be the biggest, strongest animal I just saw at the zoo, so I thought maybe some of that type of childhood fantasy stuff was going on in the early beginning. But it wasn't too long after that he started getting into the spirit of a wolf and you know, going in a little deeper. Part of me said, okay, this is the nonsense for the week. You know, next week he'll be into something else. I don't know how serious I took it when he first said it, so it was not a huge shock to the system. As it kept continuing, you get used to the idea, and okay, so my son thinks he's got the spirit of a wolf at first, and now it's a little more than that. As the years go by, you kind of learn to accept, okay, this is who he is, this is how he deals with it. It's not up to me to like it or not anymore.
Well, we knew from the time he was a baby there was something different about him. In a walker, as a little tiny thing, he would go to the doors because his first obsession was doors. And I mean, it was not like your normal child, spank their hand, say no, and it would be an all-day job to try to keep him out of the cabinet doors.
At the age of 6, Matthew was diagnosed with Asperger's.
He sat and watched me redo a hard drive once. A couple of hours later, my wife walked in and reloaded all the data and whatever, and he redid the hard drive himself. That was the first time reality really hit me that, okay, we're not just older and don't remember how the other kids were. That was the first time I said, okay, he's going to be different.
In Buffalo lives a small community of Therians who run an amateur radio show. Stephen is one of the hosts.
We're going to my workplace. It's a little computer repair shop, about 15 minutes away. All I do is I get in, fix computers, and interact with customers.
Stephen is an IT technician and keeps his work and private life separate.
I don't really feel like I can be myself at work. I have to put on a very professional attitude and look, and if I do anything that involves Therian, it really breaks the professional side of things. It's very difficult for someone to be themselves and also continue that life. All of normal life is a very strange and abstract feeling. Everything is structured very differently compared to the wilderness.
Stephen believes he is an African leopard and likes to go by his leopard name, which is Shroud. He has strong feline traits and likes to run and hunt.
Climbing and running and stuff it's very natural. It's very instinctual. So when I'm climbing up a tree or something and I lay down on the branch, it's pretty close to what I remember.
His leopard side is based on a series of intense memories.
When I was little, I had a lot of smaller memories, usually of laying on a tree branch or sitting on a rock and looking out across the savannah. And this was before I even knew what the savannah was, before I'd even seen a photograph or a video. Externally, I am a human being. I have these hands and this body, but internally, I am a leopard. I have the mannerisms and the behaviors, the thoughts, and the memories of an African leopard. I don't consider myself human at all, other than my body. I see my body as more of a vessel that doesn't match what I really have inside.
Stephen lives in Buffalo, where a small community of Therians have gathered. It is one of the reasons he moved here. Through the internet, he has met hundreds of people who believe that they are also animals. He now lives with one himself, Timothy, a raccoon.
That's my plushie net, stuffed animals, plushies, various stuffed animals I've collected over the years. Some I've had since childhood, some I bought in the past few years.
Timothy is not just a raccoon. He is also Stephen's partner.
We've been together for 4 years.
Almost. Oh God, I'm being hugged. I've known you for 4 years. It hasn't been 4 years since we've been together yet.
Well, yeah, pretty close. Like
in February.
3 months away.
There's no raccoons in Africa. And I'd imagine that in the wild, a raccoon might be prey.
Yeah, we get along just fine. There's no real like predator prey relationship or anything. We're just normal people when it comes to that.
Because while we do feel the pull of our Therian sides, and we are raccoon and leopard, ultimately we are still human, as much as we don't want to admit that half the time. We are still human, so we still, whatever species we feel we are identify with is not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Their dream is to one day create a commune for like-minded people, a safe haven where Therians can live and be together.
I'll text you. The normal ways of living are kind of constraining, and one of the influencing factors of leaving home is so I could be with people who share the same beliefs and culture as me. A lot of people who grow up in highly religious areas are shunned or persecuted or just generally downright looked down upon because of their Therian side, and a lot of them end up fleeing toward better areas with good friends, and that's where they spend their lives.
I did feel alone before I found Therian communities. I'd never had very many friends growing up. I was always viewed as strange for various reasons, mannerisms, the way I talk even, people found to be weird. But finding a group of people who, in some way, society found strange, they're incredibly accepting people. And I felt immediately at home.
To further connect with his leopard side, Stephen likes spending time in the African section of the local zoo.
Beautiful animal, though.
So, that I remember. That's very recognizable. It's because when they're on the savannah, they don't actually hide.
He spotted us.
I've been spotted.
Hi, kitty.
It's almost like knowing someone in a distant extended family. These gems back here, they were exactly as I remembered them in my memory. The memory of hunting and attacking one of them. It's very weird. It's like killing someone then meeting their family. It's almost awkward. I know it was a separate life or some separate entity or separate connection or something, but it's still very awkward. The past life memories are very real to me. They're as real as all the other memories I have. It's almost unsettling to be here and look at them, but at the same time, it's yet another link, another connection to the inside, and another way to bring the memory back a bit.
The group in Buffalo don't just identify with being animals, they also dress up as them.
Last year, that's like, what's the...
Some wear tails and collars, and others wear entire fursuits. It is a subculture within the community called furry. Every month, they meet up to express their animal sides.
It's kind of about taking everything that Therians might be into, except furries are more social with it. So we kind of connect more and we hang out and we do fun things. And we act like crazy and we make other people laugh.
There's a lot of similarities between furry and Therian. It's all about anthropomorphics, which is anything between human and animal. I usually just wear my collar and my tail and sometimes my ears. I just let myself go, let myself be free, and I fit in with the community perfect.
Outside of the community, not everyone is as understanding.
Yeah, we get a lot of strange looks. We're just kind of bizarre and eccentric. Some people want us to stay away because we're different. Some people love our antics, find us hilarious and really cute.
The negative perception is that they just leave us alone and walk away. The positive perception is that they want to know more about it. There's really nobody who directly says anything negative. There's just people who can't, you can tell that they just don't like it, they can't handle it, so they move away.
In Brunswick, Georgia, Matthew has been waiting for his 18th birthday to fulfill one major wish. It is something that would make him feel truly like an animal.
I haven't liked my name since I was in elementary school, and the reason being, I've just never liked the way it sounded.
Now that Matthew is 18, he has the right to change his name to his wolf name.
This is my signature, well, the one I use whenever I can. When I change my name, I'm going to use it everywhere. That's my paw print, and that says Shiro Ulv right under it. It's actually a mix between Japanese and Norwegian, and it means white wolf.
Despite Matthew's determination, his parents are less enthusiastic. They are concerned it could hold him back.
Well, he may have a scholarship to Georgia Tech. I'm hoping that changing his name doesn't affect that at all. And I've explained this to him, but he's an adult, he can do this without our permission, so it's a battle I can't fight anymore.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Better be thinking ahead, because you're going to need to have a birth certificate. If that name is going on your college application, you're going to have the birth certificate match it. You're going to have to send off for one. I honestly hate that he wants to change his name. He's been talking about this for years.
Yeah, I've filled in my forms for my name change.
So do you have a middle name?
Yes.
What?
Themian.
Themian?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Believe it or not, it doesn't mean anything. It's literally a name that came to me. Like in my head.
The name sounds so strange. White Fang was a better name to me, because at least it was something I heard of, which was a wolf story when I was a kid.
And it's really straightforward, unless it even says on all the legal sites, unless you're changing your name to a number or something obscene, they never get rejected.
He asked, would I be okay with him changing his name? And I said, I can't stop you. I guess I can live with it, but no, I don't like it.
Today is a defining moment for Matthew.
I'm feeling excited, I'm finally doing this, we're here. It's very exciting. It means I'm a wolf, officially.
Despite his parents' worries, he is adamant that this is the right thing for him.
Yes, I finally got it done. I have my forms right here that I need to bring to the newspaper, and everything else is done.
In order to make the process legal, Matthew must finally submit a request to the local paper.
Hi, how are you? I'm submitting the form to change my name from Matthew Schimmel to Shira Wolf.
Yeah, see if you like.
Okay.
I truly believe that names have a lot of effect on things, even though you try not to be. You get preconceived ideas. You hear some names and you think, oh, must be kind of nerdy. But then you hear Shiro and you think, what is that? I mean, you can't even put like a nationality or anything with that to me.
Shiro is S-H-I-R-O.
Yes.
And
I told him I'd be okay with it, but yeah, it really bothers me. But the ultimate goal is his happiness.
Answer would be to say that given the roots of the furry fandom.
In Buffalo, New York, live a small community of people who believe that in some way they are an animal. They live together, hang out together, and have formed close relationships with each other. Caleb, Stephen, and Timothy have fully immersed themselves within this community, and their relationship together is not conventional.
When I first met these guys, me and Shroud really hit it off, and we had a connection, and we were never limited in that connection because you were so graceful and just everybody being together. And then we kind of ended up realizing that all three of us is what really made the environment, and when it was just me and him, it wasn't really, as fun to be around each other.
They are in an open, polyamorous relationship, meaning that they can have multiple partners, whilst also being together.
I've never really been the monogamous type. I've been in monogamous relationships before, but each and every one of them was destroyed by jealousy. Stupid, petty jealousy. And then I got into a relationship that was more open on my then boyfriend's side. He was very open, very, very polyamorous, and he pried it out of me. And the more and more he showed me it, the more and more I realized, oh, I don't have to be jealous because there's nothing here to be jealous about.
It's something that works for us. It's not something that works for everybody. There's no way it ever will.
Exactly.
It's just something that solved the problem for us. And we've worked with it for years.
As far as how it developed between us, it's just obviously we shared similar viewpoints, similar spirituality, similar philosophies on life, and we just kind of meshed. And since we weren't limiting ourselves, since I wasn't saying, Shroud's mine, you can't have him, it just kind of developed. Just like any other relationship. If anything, we think it's just a pile of people having sex. No, there's love, damn it. If sex happens, it happens, but there's love. We can be with other people, we have other relationships, we have other partners. It can get complex, it can be simple, it can be whatever.
But I guess what the idea behind our relationship especially is no matter what culture will say a relationship is or isn't, or how it should or shouldn't be, what's acceptable or what's not, we don't care. As long as we are happy with each other, that's all that matters.
We just do our own thing.
I see in the furry community, they boast about, you know, having the polyamorous, but it really ends up being a lot more complicated than they think, and there's been a lot of hurt. I've seen Caleb in relationships and out of relationships, and I see them struggle with it, and there's a lot of drama to it because they're young people, but I don't say anything because they believe that this is okay, but I think they're going to find out on their own that things can become very, very complicated.
Wolf couple Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex in England. They live with Ben's mum, Sue, who is only now discovering about the couple's animal side.
I mean, obviously this is all very new to me, but I mean, so when did you start having these feelings? As early as Kim, or later, or earlier?
Thinking about it, probably a little bit early before Kim, but not really realising what it was at the time. I just kind of pushed it all back and forgot about it.
What did you think it was? I mean, what?
I had absolutely no idea. And your brain doesn't really kind of comprehend things like that. It just ignores it and kind of copes with it. But then when I was around Kim, she was doing much the same things. I thought, well, that must have been something.
Yeah.
And then those feelings start cropping up again.
Stronger,
then kind of becomes very evident that there's a reason for it, as opposed to, you're just going crazy.
If I had those feelings, you see, it wouldn't say to me that somebody else was driving me. What makes you think it is this inner spirit within you?
I can hear it, I can feel it, and I just know it's there. It's like,
do you see it?
It's faith.
Do you see it? Well, yeah. You talk about faith. I mean, I have faith, but I don't ever feel that I have somebody speaking to me. But you are convinced that it is a spirit, and a spirit within you, as opposed to just you having these feelings.
Well, it's exactly the same, just I don't voice it as much as everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand it, sweet, that's all.
It's a very difficult thing to try and explain. You've just got to take it on good faith, really.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're a lie. I'm just trying to understand it, really. Or it's not an easy thing to understand, obviously.
It's weird though, because it's so normal for us now.
Well, yeah. Obviously, a lot of people would not think you were normal.
Oh yeah, but
I'm not saying all of my friends, but a lot of my cattle friends would think that completely bizarre. And they wouldn't even look any further than, that the pair of them would need help.
For many Therians and otherkin, believing something that nobody else can see creates its own unique problems.
It's very annoying that other people can't see how I feel, not just on a Therian level, in general. I think and feel so differently from most people, and they don't really understand it.
Finding the community, I think, was the first time I ever had friends who were like me, people who wanted to do the same things as me, people who wanted to communicate the same way as me, people who were just interested in the same facets of life.
it's not something that we choose, it's something that you're born with, essentially. You discover as you get older. It's something that you discover that it's a part of yourself.
I feel very different. I feel extremely different. I feel like I just don't belong with the crowd.
I don't know how to explain how I feel. I know I'm different, and I'm making no attempt to change it. I mean, a lot of people are different, but, I just like who I am. I can be proud of my identity rather than ashamed of it.